An arithmetic series is the sum of all numbers in an arithmetic sequence. If you don't know what that is, then I highly suggest watching our video on arithmetic sequences, as it teaches you everything you need to know in order to understand this concept. Let's say our sequence goes 4, 6, 8, 10, and then it ends at 28. To find the series, we would add up every single number. 4 plus 6 plus 8. That takes too long. So we can notate the series using this thing. And this is known as sigma notation because this big backwards E kind of, this is known as sigma. This is sigma. And what this is saying is the sum of every number in the form uk such that k equals 1, 2, 3, and all the way up to n. And what that means is, let's say we have something like this. K equals 1, 3, and then 3k plus 2, something like this. Then if you had this, you would add up 3, 1 plus 2 using this formula, and then plus 3, 2 plus 2. Sorry, this should be a 2. We just count up by 1 every time until we get to 3. Once we get to 3, we just stop it there. Plus 3, 3 plus 2, and you add up all these numbers and you get your answer. Let's quickly do an example of how to calculate a series using sigma notation. So we have this series here, and let's just start off with 2, 1 plus 3, because you replace k with 1 when you start out, and then you add 2 times 2 plus 3, and as I said, you just add 1 to k every single time until you reach this top number, which is 4, and we're not there yet, so we need to keep going. And we add 2 times 3 plus 3, still not there. 2 times 4 plus 3, and we reached it. So we just add up every single one of these numbers together. So we can actually add up these twos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 times 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 threes plus 3 times 4 equals 20 plus 12 equals 32. And that's our sum. But sometimes the number at the top is going to be too big for you to do it that traditional way. So we can use a formula that goes like this. S of n, which is n terms, is equal to n over 2 times u1, which is the first term, plus un. And this is the formula that we are going to use to calculate arithmetic series, and we can use this. We can use sigma notation to find this. How do we do that? Well, first we can look at the top number to see that there are 12 terms. So S12 is equal to 12 over 2. And then we need the first term and un. And un is just going to be the last number because that's the number of terms there are. So if there were 4 terms, then un would be u4, which is the last term. And to get the first term, we just plug in 1 into k, because that's what the first term is always going to be. So first term is 4 times 1 plus 11 equal to 15. So we can run 15 over here. And to get the last term, we can just plug in the last number, which is the number on the top, into k. So that'll be 4 times 12 plus 11, which is 59. And then we just do some simple math. So that would be 6 times 74 is equal to 444. That's your answer. This is much easier than using that traditional method where you would have to calculate 12 individual terms and add them all up together. Now that we've learned the basics, let's try some practice problems. If you know how to do this one, then pause the video and try it. What this question is asking is to find the sum of this series, which is 3 plus 7 plus 11, all the way until plus 31. And the first thing that you need to find out is how many terms there are. As we learned in our arithmetic sequences video, we can find the position of any term using the general term formula, which is un equals, this time is going to be 4n because the difference between each term is 4 minus 1. And let's replace 31 for un because that's the term we're trying to find the position of. 4n minus 1. And this is 32 equals 4n, which means n equals 8. So there are 8 terms in total, and 31 is the 8th term. Now let's use the formula we learned earlier, which is Sn equals n over 2 u1 plus un. And let's replace n for 8 because that's how many terms there are in this series. So S8 equals 8 over 2 times u1, which is 3, plus un, which is 31. And this simplifies to 4 times 34, which is 136. Let's do another practice problem. This one is asking you to evaluate the sum of this sigma notation, and we can do this by using the formula again, which is Sn equals n over 2 u1 plus un. And n is going to be equal 10 because that's the top number, so Sn or S10 is equal to 10 over 2 u1, which is you plug in 1 for k, so 2 times 1 plus 5 equals 7. And then un, plug in 10 for k because that's the top number and how many terms are in the series. So 2 times 10 plus 5 equals 25. So I plug in 7 plus 25, and then this simplifies down to 5 times 32. This is equal to 160. This is our answer, which is very simple. Now let's do one last problem. If you think you can do it, then pause the video and try it. This problem is asking to find the sum of this series to 20 terms. So we know that this sequence or series has 20 terms, but we don't know the last term, and we need to find that out. So we can use the general term formula, so un is equal to the difference, which is negative 3, and it's going to be plus 93 to 20 terms, so that means u20 is equal to negative 3 times 20 plus 93, and this is equal to negative 60 plus 93, and that is equal to 33. So now let's plug in all our values into the formula. S20 is equal to 20 over 2, which is 10, u1 90 plus 33. This is equal to 10 times 123. And this is going to be 1230. That's our sum. Now the tricky part is to find the last term of this series, but we can just use the general term formula. And generally, whenever you find that you're missing a piece of information from a series that you need to calculate, the general term formula is going to be a great help in finding that missing information, as it tells you the position of a number and what the value of a number given a position is going to be. So, everything that I just did in this video should teach you everything that you need to know about the basics of arithmetic series. If you still don't understand everything fully, then I would suggest watching our arithmetic sequences video, and after that, if you still don't understand this, then I would suggest watching the video again in its entirety. If you learned something from this video, or if you enjoyed it, then please consider liking or subscribing.